feels like everyone is paranoid. Good luck finding the people who hacked us. Hopefully it will turn out to be nothing.
How many have they lost in the
Adam, I'm glad you came back. I hope you don't beat yourself up over the record. I'm sure you did everything you could. I'm not liking this.
Gotta take the good with the bad.
Anomaly detected. Access
Can we
granted.
get a feed from that drone?
The video is much faster, but there's no substitute for being there in person.
I'm not saying he'd stick it anywhere, but
It shows us where the holes are after the fact.
is he trying to make contact with
Make the
T-Bone?
most noise on the pro album.
Well, they're not the
That's
most
great the most
popular.
noise on the pro album.
We should find out. She could be in our fight.
That's the materials needed for
Already
booby
updated
trap.
it. It's whoever
If I
we're
have
not.
anything, I'll let you know.
Pessimistically optimistic. Is that a thing?
Anomaly
Art
detected.
doesn't make
Access
sense because
granted.
of,
I don't know. I got a
obvious.
bad feeling about this.
I don't know. We could put the name of every organization on a board and throw darts at it.
How many have they lost in the last 3 months?
Could be anyone, really.
It's all about keeping your concentration.
Couldn't catch me going in there.
Art doesn't make
Anomaly
sense.
detected. Trace program initiated.
It's all about keeping your concentration.
Access granted.
It's whoever we're not.
I don't know. I got a bad feeling about this.
It's whoever we're not.
Who owns that place?
Could
The
be
bank?
anyone,
The
really.
Tiny
government?
interruption and you're fucked.
Trucker's debt has got everything on the web dumping.
Hey, it's a good thing you got that signal booster offline. Agent Singh spent a long time getting in with the gin.
I don't know.
Be a shame to have it blow his
We
cover.
could put the name of every organization on a board and throw darts
Dr.
at it.
Talos Rucker, former medical doctor and former leader of the Augmented Rights Coalition, now deceased. You know the rest. You've heard of these
Art
guys.
doesn't make
ARC,
sense
or
because
the
of,
Augmented
you know,
Rights Coalition.
the obvious.
They're a human rights group who, on the surface at least, is trying to provide equal rights for augmented people. It was started by Dr. Talos Rucker soon after the AUG incident when Rucker started to speak out against the anti-AUG legislation
I
that
don't
was
know.
being passed by several
We
local
could put the name
governments.
of every
You
organization
ask
on
me,
a board and
it's
throw
not
darts
working.
at it.
They seem to be getting worse. ARC preaches non-violence, but a string of terror attacks
Pessimistically
has put them on the
optimistic.
terror watch list.
Is that a
So I'll let
thing?
you be the judge. You've heard of these guys. ARC,
It's whoever
or
we're
the
not.
Augmented Rights Coalition. They're a human rights group who, on the surface at least, is trying to provide equal rights for augmented people. It was started by Dr. Talos Rucker soon after the AUG incident when Rucker started to
I don't
speak
know.
out.
I got a bad feeling
Maybe
about
they
this.
took out the train station. Get him sometime.
Yes.
Be careful out there.
Things seem to be getting worse. ARC preaches non-violence, but a string of terror attacks has put them on the terror watch list. So I'll let you be the judge.
Art doesn't make sense
Pessimistically
because of,
optimistic.
you know, the
Is that a
obvious.
thing?
It's
all
whoever
about
we're not.
keeping your concentration.
Access granted.
Could be anyone, really.
One tiny interruption and you're fucked.
I don't know. We could put the name of every organization on a board and throw darts at it.
The amount of data to ship through is huge.
Everything we know about this guy can fit on one yellow
One
sticky
tiny
note.
interruption
We know
and
his
you're
name,
fucked.
Viktor Marchenko, if that's his real name,
Art doesn't
and
make
nothing
sense
else. I mean, we
because
can't find a trace of him anywhere.
The obvious.
You know as much as I do about these guys. They're augmented, well-trained, and very dangerous. And they seem to be massing weapons and AUGs for
Who's
some
made
sort
the
of
most
attack.
noise
We
in
just
the pro
we don't
op?
know what yet.
It's whoever we're not picking up.
I don't know. I got a bad feeling about
There
this.
we go. The Church of the Machine God, and to some, the Church of the Machine, without the God. And then again, to others, the Singularity Church of the Machine God. This group has so many names and subgroups.
Remember the
it's hard to
days
keep
when
track.
Pessimistically
people would
And
claim
believe it or not, they've been
responsibility
around
for
in one
the
form or
shit they
another
did?
since the early 1970s.
Art doesn't make sense because
There are a
you
lot
know,
of contradictory
the obvious.
reports on who they are and what they want, but in general, they all want the same thing.
Well,
they want
we've
to
gotta
merge
look at
their
the obvious
consciousnesses
first,
It's all about
and become
keeping your
one with the
concentration.
machine god through a ritual
Could
they
be
call
anyone, really.
ascension. The Church of the Machine God has a leader, but all we know about her at this point is that she's a woman and they call her Mother. That's creepy, right? I think that's really creepy.
I don't know. We could put the name of every organization on a board and throw darts at it.
Yosef the Builder, former member of the Church of the Machine God, now deceased. It seems he was the main architect and designer of the Consciousness Collector, the
Could be
machine
anyone,
the Church
really.
of the Machine God wanted to use to help them merge with the Singularity.
I don't know. I got a bad feeling
Ah,
about
what
this.
to say about the Juggernaut Collective that isn't speculation. A bunch of their members were running operations out of Montreal in 27, resurfacing for a while in 28.
I don't know.
You heard of the
We could
Rifleman
put the
Bank
name of every
Station?
organization
Bell
on a
Tower?
board and throw darts
Anyway,
at it.
the Collective is a group of hacker activists, or hacktivists.
It's all about
God, I
keeping
hate
your
that word.
concentration.
Dedicated to the cause of freedom. At least that's what they say, or what their actions appear to say.
It's whoever will.
They fight corruption by exposing hypocrisy and protecting the unprotected. No one knows the real power structure inside of the Collective, but there is one name that echoes over the darknet, and that name that echoes even louder than
Art
Hex,
doesn't
and you
make
can talk to
sense
Peter
because
Chang if you don't believe
Pessimistically
me.
optimistic.
That name
Is that a
is
thing?
Janus. And some say Janus runs everything, while others think there is no Janus.
That's the
I don't know.
materials needed for a
We could put the name of every organization
Janus.
on a
I
board and
mean,
throw
what can you
darts
say
at
about
it.
him? Or her. Nobody really knows who or what Janus is. But what many believe is that Janus is running the most dangerous hacking group in the
It's whoever
world,
we're not.
attacking corrupt politicians and businesses on a global scale. The corporate world
Tiny
is
interruption
terrified
and
of
you're
Janus.
fucked.
The New Sons of Freedom, or NSF, is a small group of militant constitutionalists and secessionists operating in the
anyone,
continental United States,
I don't know.
particularly in the
I got a
Pacific
bad
Northwest.
feeling about this.
The group was formed as a reaction to the American government's increasingly authoritarian regime. NSF is committed to fighting the influence and control of a group of unknown people they believe to be the Illuminati with strategic guerrilla warfare strikes.
Art
They are
doesn't make
suspected of
sense
having
because
ties
of,
with
you
Janus
know,
and the
the
Juggernaut.
obvious.
It's all about keeping your concentration.
Samizdat is an underground news outlet that prides itself on being the anti-Picus. They offer incisive and opinionated
anyone,
takes on
really.
current events and eagerly disclose sensitive
All we can do
information
is
and or
speculate until
leaked
someone
documents to
steps
the
up.
public. Sometimes this information comes from secret sources, and sometimes it comes from
Pessimistically
actively
optimistic.
hacking or even breaking
that a
into
thing?
places where sensitive information is kept. Journalistic integrity
you've
and a
gotta look
genuine
at the
commitment
obvious
to truth
first,
tends
right?
to balance the organization's more extreme-leaning conspiracy bent. For every wild speculation, there are
Art
at
doesn't
least
make
4
sense
recent
because of,
arguments
you
backed
know,
by tangible
the
evidence.
No, I got a
Of
bad
course,
feeling
a
about
tinge
this.
of paranoid conspiracy mongering is inevitable, given that members of the group are considered criminals. Any kind of intelligence or international security
can do is
agency is
speculate
rightly
until
very
someone
nervous
steps
about
up.
Samizdat's cowboy
whoever we're
approach
not
to
thinking.
It's all about
information
keeping your
liberation.
concentration.
The editor of Samizdat is a man known only as K. He works out of an underground newsroom somewhere in Prague, which is the principal hub for an extensive network of secret sources and rogue journalists working all across Europe.
I don't know.
I would have thought
We
you'd
could
had
put
your
the name
fill of
of
these
every
guys since
organization
goodbye,
on a
Jensen.
board and throw
Tiny
darts
The
at it.
interruption and you're
a group of
fucked.
smugglers led by twin brothers Salar and Wazim Alam. Their exact base of operations is unknown, but it's most likely in Muscat, Oman. The brothers Alam have been in operation since 2020
Could be anyone,
and have
really.
greatly expanded their operations since then, recruiting mercenaries,
Pessimistically
ex-military,
optimistic.
nationalistic agitators,
Is that
and
a
other
thing?
colorful criminal agitators from Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and the surrounding region. They deal in drugs, weapons, medical implants, augs, and they occasionally throw in some human trafficking. Our arms dealer Shepard,
Pessimistically
aka John
optimistic.
Trent, is
We
a
could put
former
the name of
Special
every
Forces
organization
commander
on
and
board and
ex-Bell
throw
Tower
darts at
operative. And as is typical for those ex-Bell Tower employees, he's been selling off old Bell Tower tech and weapons. But
Remember
we
the
don't need to
days
worry
when
about
people
him
would
anymore.
claim
He was killed by
responsibility
those
for
robots
the
guys
shit
fly.
they did?
This guy is the face of the Jinn and a charismatic force of nature. They call him the Bull of the North and the Heart of the Jinn. Real name
Art
Salar,
doesn't make
works
sense
in
because
conjunction
of,
with his
you know,
cold and
the obvious.
calculating
He's made the
brother,
most
I don't
noise
know.
in
who
his
I
whole
saved
got a
his
life.
bad
life during
feeling
the
about
August.
this.
He is proudly augmented and parades his Augs around wherever and whenever he likes. The hatred
be
of
anyone,
Augs from
really.
groups around the world has only emboldened him and his organization. Ah,
all
Wasim
about keeping
Alam,
your
the head of the
concentration.
Jinn, former limb clinic doctor and surgeon before he turned to more profitable enterprises. He
Art
brings the
doesn't
same
make
cold
sense
and
because of,
calculated
you know,
approach he brought to
the
saving
obvious.
lives to running his business with his brother, Salar.
It's all about keeping your concentration.
Ah, Agent Singh, great poker player. I still owe him 100 credits. So I hope his incursion with the Jinn lasts another few months. You know, maybe he'll forget I owe him the money.
It's whoever we're
Purity
not thinking
First
of.
is an anti-aug group dedicated to keeping humans human.
One
all
tiny
pure,
interruption
no
and you're
augmentations.
fucked.
In their obsessive pursuit of this goal, they have taken extreme measures and are suspected of being responsible for multiple acts of breaking and entering, vandalism, and
I don't
theft.
know.
On
could
occasion,
put the name
they've
of every
even become
organization
violent,
on
being
the board and throw
implicated in
darts at
several
it.
assaults and murders as they push for their
Pessimistically
goal of human
optimistic.
security.
Is that
All
a
we can
thing?
do is speculate until someone steps up.
Oh, here we go. the Diwali crime family. As you may
I don't
already
know.
know, they're one of the largest
could put
crime
the name of
syndicates in
every
Eastern Europe,
organization on
but
the
they
board
do
until
business
Darcy.
almost everywhere, from Northern Europe all the way to the Middle East. After their humble beginnings in a coastal town in Georgia, the Diwali quickly moved
made
from
the most
gambling
noise in
to
the
lucrative
co-op?
criminal enterprises until they found their specialty, smuggling, which includes human
I don't
trafficking
know.
too.
I got a bad
The
feeling
Diwali
about
can get
this.
anything to anywhere. It's as if borders just don't exist to them. But their rapid expansion came at the cost of their Georgian purity when they started incorporating an ever-increasing number of Russians into
Art
the
doesn't make sense because
I don't know. I got a bad feeling about
power
this.
struggle that's coming within the Diwali. One of the old versus the new, the past versus the future. Oh, here we
whoever we're
go.
not
The
thinking of.
Diwali crime family. As you may already know, they're one of the largest crime syndicates in Eastern Europe, but they do business prevalently everywhere.
They are as safe from us as we are from them.
Not our
Concentration. I have many friends who are. Most of them are afraid to walk outside of their homes right now because they may be out of hatred and suspicion aimed at them. It's horrifying. They want to feel safe again, and the human rights are back.
Anomaly detected. Trace program initiated. Access granted.
Around the world today rejoiced at a decision by the Czech Republic to approve and grant
One tiny interruption and you're fucked.
It's whoever we're not thinking of.
Ah, the elusive Radic Nikolazzi. This guy's a piece of work, driven and ruthless. When he came up, he was the youngest boss in the Diwali crime family. The man spends more money on suits
I
than
don't
most
know.
people
I
spend
don't
on
know.
their houses.
I got a
Put the
bad
name of
feeling
every
Don't
about
let the looks
this.
and the haute
organization
couture
on the board
fool
until
you.
Darcy.
He's the boss. He's in control, and he squashed more than a few people who've tried to take him down along the way.
Art doesn't make
Classic
sense
Diwali
because of,
structure has
you know,
two spies,
the
or
obvious.
pakhans, working for the lieutenant who report directly to the boss, to make sure he stays the boss. Those guys are pretty violent.
Pessimistically optimistic. Is that a thing?
It's whoever we're not
Ah,
thinking
the Diwali called this guy Constantine. Like that's supposed to be intimidating, right? We don't have a last name for Constantine, but until his death in the Rizika bombing, he was a high-placed member of the Diwali crime family, answering to Otar
Pessimistically
Bakhtavelli.
optimistic.
We suspect
Is
he has
that a
lots
thing?
of connections in the upper echelons of the
I don't know.
organization, all the
of.
way
You
up
could
to
put the name of
Raj
every
Nikolazzi
organization
and
on the board
beyond.
until Darcy had.
Between you and me, I suspect that he's a Pakhan, a spy that watches
don't
the
know.
Diwali
I got a
lieutenant
bad
closely
feeling
to make
about
sure he
this.
doesn't make a move on the boss.
Could be anyone.
Otar Bakhtavelli. This guy's a classic. They don't make many like him anymore. Sharp mind, a real businessman. One of those gangsters who thinks that crime is a necessary evil. No, if it's gonna happen, he's there to make sure
It's all
people have
about
respect
keeping your
and make good money.
Art doesn't make sense
business.
because of, you know, the obvious.
Otar's right-hand man is this guy, Vano. Not the sharpest tool in the shed, if you know what I mean, but he's strong and
It's whoever
loyal,
we're not
something
thinking.
Otar values greatly.
One tiny interruption and you're fucked.
I don't know.
Is he trying to make contact with Tibor?
live.
We should find out, but it's not a fight.
You forget something.
Have you gotten word from Singh? He managed to turn up anything in the desert?
He's back in Basra now, digging where he can, but he might as well be kicking over stones. So far, he's come back with sweet FA.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, well, what can you do? Hurry up and wait. Isn't that the old soldier's credo?
You mentioned me being an ex-cop. You reading up on me?
Someone new rolls in, I like to brush up on them. Like to know who I've got standing next to me.
So you weren't looking for character weaknesses you could exploit?
Despite my tone and attitude, mate, I'm not a bully. I just have ridiculously high standards of people who might end up with my life in their hands.
So do I pass muster?
Decorated SWAT, head of security for Sarif Industries. It's an impressive jacket. After the incident, there is a black hole about a year wide that gives me some pause, truth told. What happened there?
I stepped away from the work. I needed to refocus.
Yeah, I get that. Believe me. Well, look, I've got a shitload of work to do, so if there isn't anything else...
I'll let you get back to what you were doing.
Anonymity. Security. And we, the same property bank, have made addressing those issues a priority. Information archived within the system has made property bank is beyond the limits of the government.
Anomaly detected. Track access denied.
Now and forever will be the best secure.
Restoration Act. I am joined by
Anomaly detected. Trace program initiated. Anomaly detected. Trace program initiated. Access granted. Anomaly detected. Trace program initiated. Access granted.
Alex, I'm in. Anything I need to know before I start up this chair?
Every NSN is different, man, so I'm not sure what to expect. I'm guessing you'll end up in some kind of virtual conference room. No one else should be in there.
And if they are?
They'll see you as Miller, so say something snippy and log off.
Okay. Where do I find these stored conversations?
Hell if I know. This is your plan. But holographic recordings take up a lot of virtual memory, so you may have to look in several places.
I'll just have to play it by ear.
Exactly. The whisper chip is still in place, though, so we'll both know when you've done it. Good luck, Adam.
This is different.